Good evening, beloveds. It is evening, very evening. It is about 20 minutes to 11. Because I got up at 5:30 this morning, drove out to the Renaissance Festival, worked until about 5 o'clock, and then hauled my hind end to the center to help with the Halloween show. We recorded it for the cast. So hopefully they will get to enjoy it at a later date. And so now, and then I finally came home, and now I'm sitting here going, am I too tired to do this? So we're going to find out. Because I didn't want to do two of them tomorrow. So, yeah. It is October 22nd. Our title is A Journal Filled with Joy. The first quote is, "These things I have spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full." And that is John 15:11. Second quote is joy, the emotion excited by the expectancy of good, gladness, delight, exaltation. And that is Science of Mind, page 603. In order to be able to experience peace, we must first establish contact with the joyful part of ourselves. Since what we are feeling is always a result of our thoughts, when we dwell on pleasant happenings, we naturally stay in touch with the divine part of our being, which is joy. One of the ways to accomplish this is to keep a joy journal, in which lovely experiences are recorded. This doesn't take very much time. Just one entry per day would soon fill the pages and the mind with positive thoughts and feelings. At the close of each day, recall the most pleasant experiences that happened to you. This does not have to be anything dramatic. It may be a smile from a stranger, time spent with a friend, or a walk in the park. The main requirement is that it be something important to you. We are to rejoice evermore, Ernest Holmes says. There is no sadness in the spirit. It is happy and free, for it knows neither depression nor confusion, and we belong to it, and are in it and of it. We are to rejoice evermore. As we focus our minds on good things, soon our spirits are so filled with joy that we have become joy. I live my life in joy. I focus on the good in every situation. I live in joy, love, health, and peace. I am a center of joy. Joy is the foundation of all life's good experiences. I am in constant contact with that quiet ecstasy called joy. And that is S.B. Shirley Briggs. And the cool thing about a joy journal is it doesn't have to be just a written down journal. Because we have wonderful devices like what I'm using right now. You can literally record your joy journal. And there are other ways too to get in touch with joy, because immediately as soon as she starts talking about joy, I'm reminded of one of the pages that I follow. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They are two wonderful people, Z and Melissa. And they do these things called joy jams. And if you've never seen them, they're wonderful, and I highly recommend them. The page that I follow is called Oh My God Life. And they are fantastic. And they do these wonderful things. And Z raps and Melissa sings, and they do these wonderful videos, and sometimes they're quirky and sometimes they're corny and sometimes they're always beautiful, but sometimes they're and I would say they're always heartfelt as well. And that's what they are, is they're joyful, and they talk about hard topics too. So if you're really looking for joy, then search up the joy jams. I first encountered them when I was my first student retreat. They taught us to do they can have moving parts, and I was just like, wow, this is something. And so they have a focus ministry, and they're amazing and wonderful, and so I highly recommend them, especially when you're looking to connect with joy. My husband one time was going through, he was just grouchy, and he said, I need to do something about this. And I said, well, why don't you keep a gratitude journal? And he did for about a week, and that was what he needed to turn his attitude around. And a week later, he said, thank you. And I have permission to tell you that. And so sometimes when we get our grooves become ruts, that's one of the ways that we can get out of them. So she's talking about a joy journal. You can also call it a gratitude journal. What are you grateful for? Well, those are things that you have to be joyful about. And so, a gratitude journal, a grateful journal. Sometimes what we need is to look for grateful things to be grateful for. Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of the teachers that I absolutely love, she says, look for the good and praise it. In her treatment towards the end, her little affirmations, Shirley says the same thing. She says, I look for the good in the situation. Sometimes when we are in situations, we don't see the good initially. But what it is hindsight, where we can look back at a situation and we can see the good that came out of it. So even when we're in the midst of a situation where, there is no joy, arguably, then there's two things to do. One, we can look for it. Or two, we can connect with the source of our own being, because the source of our own being is joy. It is an inexhaustible source of joy. And so that's that spiritual practice that I'm always talking about. And there's a number of different kinds of ways of approaching spiritual practices. Keeping a joy journal would be a spiritual practice. Keeping a gratitude journal would be a spiritual practice. You know how I talk about that loving, kind, compassionate thing? Keep a joy journal for a week. That can be your loving, kind, compassionate thing. And the cool thing is once you kind of get into the habit of it, you start to see more of it. It's like when you look for the good, actively look for the good, you start to see more of it. You kind of look around at the world and go, oh, this place is a little cooler than I thought it was. And so no matter what's going on, that's a power that we have. I talk about the power of heaven, because heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It's a superpower, but it's a superpower each and every one of us have. We come pre-installed with the software, the Christ consciousness that helps us to create heaven. And every spiritual tradition tells you what the password for that Christ consciousness is. They may not call it the Christ consciousness. They may call it something else. But the password is always, always, always love. And joy is another word for love. Gratitude is another word for love. Frankly, God is another word for love. Spirit is another word for love, and joy. And so joy is an amazing emotion that we have every right to. We have every right to, no matter what's going on. No matter what's going on, we have the right to joy, because it comes from a source, the source of our own being. So sometimes we look around at the state of the world and we want to be serious. And we can be. But we also can make room for the joy. We can also make room for the joy. Because when we don't make room for the joy, then the lights start to go out. So please consider a gratitude journal. If you want a mission for today, that would be my suggestion. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to create a joy journal. And you can do it in writing. But if there's another medium that speaks to you, do you paint? Do you draw? Do you do video recordings? Blog, vlog. What all of the fun things that we can do now that's not just writing in a book. create a joy journal. Try it for a week. And if you really, really do enjoy it, then continue to do it. And if it's not for you, try something else, because that's the cool thing. We can always do that. So that's the mission. And then I would suggest the spiritual practice that I suggest every time, to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. In mine is going to, in a minute, is to take my boots off and go to bed. Because I'm done. I'm busted. I've had enough for today. So I'm going to go to bed. But I'm going to bed so that I can get up a little extra early tomorrow to go to the gym. Because I know that I need it. And so that's what it looks like, getting a good night's sleep. But so when I suggest the doing something loving, kind, compassionate for yourself, it is self-care. It is about making sure that you're enjoying life. It does come back to joy, because part of joy is making sure that you are enjoying life. So like today, at the show, they had these brownies, and I knew, and I was like, I want that one, that, and Tom went and got that, and I ate that whole brownie all by myself. I did not share with Tom. He could go get his own brownie. And I made sure to really enjoy that brownie, so that's also a spiritual practice, to really engage all five senses and really enjoy something. It is loving for yourself. It is kind for yourself. It is compassionate for yourself. You have the right and the calling to enjoy your life. So practice on yourself, because practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent. It also helps you to create that bank of loving, kind compassion that when you meet people who need a little extra, you've got it to share. Or when you have long days, you've got enough to get through. Life shouldn't be, watch me shitting on us, shouldn't be a struggle. When we do what we can for ourselves and for each other, then life gets better for everyone. So practice loving, kind compassion on yourself. Practice joy. Keep track of your joy. Connect with the source of your own being in joy. And enjoy life. All right? You're a beloved child of God. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Because it's coming from an infinite source that loves you unreservedly. Okay. I also encourage you, as I always do, to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. I didn't drink my trace mineral drink this morning, but I made sure that I got it tonight, because I do not want to wake up in the middle of the night with cramps from not having enough water. I tried to drink plenty of water today. Being outdoors all day will do that to you. I do encourage you to get that early in your day bright light. That's the cool thing right now about driving to the Renaissance Festival. Since I'm out on the road at 6:30 in the morning, I kind of get to see some of the sunrise. It's a little bit behind me because I'm kind of going west, but I get to see the sunrise. And so I get that early in the day bright light, and it's circadian rhythms. Okay. Bright light early in the morning will help reset your circadian rhythms. You will sleep better at night. You will have more energy during the day. And then, in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us all the time. As I stated earlier, it is a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. It is something that we can do. Absolutely. It is an instinct in us that has been trained out of us, and does not take much to awaken it. And love is the key. Love is always the key. Love is the key. Love is the password. Love's how we get there. So, in the words of Emma, look for the good and praise it. In the words of Shirley, keep a joy journal. Whatever else you do. Okay, here's the social media part. We are Creative Life Spirituals, and we are Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan. Please feel free to check all of that out. There's all kinds of content, and we work very hard on it. I would also suggest, as I just, I'm losing my mind. If you want to know what's going on with the center when I don't know what's going on, because we do have book studies going on all the time. There are classes coming up. There's a food market coming up. You missed the show because it was tonight. And it was fantastic. The cast was amazing. Please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact, and the hot links are hot. So, that is what I know. So I'm going to tell you to have I know it's evening, but still, have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a wonder-filled day, an amazing day, a spooky day, because it was a Halloween show, an awesome day, a good day. If that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough. Just as you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a source of joy to spirit. Always. Please remember that. Please know that. Please take that into your contemplation. You will never look in the eyes of someone that God does not love, especially when you look in the mirror. All right, beloveds. I am going to haul my my skeleton into bed tonight, or in a few minutes. So, know that you are loved. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you, and we will have an amazing service for you. He's been on a Stay Astonished, and we've been quite astonished. It's been good. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.